When faced with consequences or negativity in your life, and you're going to be faced with negativity, the best thing to do is just not give up. Don't give up. Okay, yeah, might change your plans. Change your plans. I'm gonna have to go in this direction. I'm gonna have to go this direction. But I don't want the easy path.
Welcome. My name is Titus Rhodes, and this is Young Clarity, a podcast about thinking differently no matter how old or young you are. Whether it's creativity, self-improvement, or even your faith, we talk about it all.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 5 of the Young Clarity Podcast. I'm your host, Titus Rhodes, and today is a great day. Today's episode 5 of the podcast. This is huge. It's huge that this is episode 5 already. It's been 5 weeks with you guys. 5 weeks I've sat down and thought about talking to you guys in a way to help and encourage you to make better decisions, to see the world a little bit differently, to watch and to learn and to talk to you guys in these 5 weeks. And I say that because I've changed a lot in 5 weeks. I've changed a lot in 5 weeks. And when you're young, you usually do, right? So you're learning how to be new and to grow. And especially in this chapter I'm in my life where I'm really into learning. I mean, I've been going to the bookstore almost every other day. I've been journaling daily. I've been doing everything I can to know myself a little bit better because I chase wisdom. I think today is going to be an honest episode. Today's going to be an honest episode. I'm exhausted today. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted emotionally. And I don't feel right. I don't feel like myself. And I think this episode is going to be good because that's the topic we're going to talk today. The topic today is criticism and opportunity. The topic today is criticism and opportunity. And what does criticism and opportunity mean to you as an artist, creative, and maybe just a human being? We all go through things in our life and we have hard days and we wake up and we don't want to get up and we wake up and we have to do things regardless of how we feel. We lead these consistent and disciplined lives. We practice and practice and practice, and it's an opportunity to be alive. And it's amazing when we have to slow down and reflect and think about how we're going to still make our art. Now, our art isn't our God, okay? It's not. And because of that, art is really more of a vice, if I would describe it as anything else, when you're struggling. For me, whenever I had a hard day or I struggled with anything, I always ran to my art. I ran to running and creating and doing things that would distract me from the problems I had to face the next day, an hour later, 5 minutes later, or even in the moment. I would make and I would write and I would journal, and that was my way of escaping from the struggles I had emotionally, maybe physically feeling, or just the way I just didn't feel about myself, self-esteem. I ran to my art because it was a vice to help me distract myself from my problem. And when we say vices like that, guys, it can become very negative. It can become very negative very quickly. It makes us feel like our art is some type of substance that we have to keep on consuming just to understand it a little bit better or to control how we feel. And I want to give you the message that that's okay. And I can't tell you you won't do it because you're going to probably always run up to it. But for me, I always I now put my faith in Christ. And because of that, I've been struggling even on that moment in my life. I've been struggling with my relationship with Christ. And by struggling, I don't mean I'm having any doubts or anything like that. I'm struggling with my consistency in that. And that's something I have to work on. I just spent the whole morning trying to figure out plans to do that. What do you do as an artist when you're faced with criticism? What do you do as an artist when you're faced with criticism? I'll tell you a story. So I had a very big idea, right? A very huge idea. An idea I really cherished. A creative work that I really wanted to make sure was going to be successful. And I I made the mistake of caring about it too much to the point where I became linked to it, which is often a problem when we're artists, is learning how to let go of pieces. A great exercise to fix that is just make something and immediately throw it away because that what you make is not you. What you make is just what you make. And learning to separate yourself from your art can be very, very beneficial as an artist. It's hard, but it should be practice that, hey, this is just something you do. Denzel Washington has an amazing thing where I love, he says, whenever he gets into like a conversation with someone about how great movies are, how, oh, the whole industry's bad or the movies are bad, he always just takes a step back and says, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. And that is so inspiring for me because it reminds me that, hey, it's just a movie, Titus. It's just an idea. And I shared this idea. And initially, I was planning that the person I shared it to was a very mentor I respect highly. I don't talk to him often, but when I do talk to him, I listen and I really, really try to show myself that, hey, I'm a person who maybe you could spend a couple more minutes talking to me a little bit more if you can, because it would be an honor. And I did it in a crowd of people. Now, sharing your ideas or sharing any type of thing that you're about to pursue in life in front of other people is hard because it's like, okay, now I'm not performing for you, I'm performing for everybody else to get their approval about how great my idea is. And usually, when you're not prepared for that, you usually fail, right? You don't know your lines when you go into the stage, it'll fall on your face. And I did that, and I remember it wasn't negative, but it was an emotionally tense situation. And because I was emotionally tense in that situation, I was very sensitive. And because I was very sensitive, I immediately like could not handle it. I mean, like he told me, and I remember it was at the point where I was like, he didn't say it was a bad idea. He just said, I never seen someone else pull it off. I've never, and if you pulled it off, you'd be awesome. But like, can you pull it off? Like, would you even try that? For why would you put yourself in this situation? And his thought process was very great. I agreed with him 100% because I thought about the same thoughts before. Like he wasn't saying anything original that I hadn't already thought of. You know, I'm a very high thinker. Before I go into anything, I try to think it through clearly, and I'm not like I'm gonna do this one thing. I'm gonna learn everything I can about this one thing. But I am a risk taker, and because I'm a risk taker, I get fearful. And it's weird. I talked to you guys about the last episode, the same conversation, so it sounds like I'm contradicting myself of being bold and having confidence as an artist. And I talked about that last episode. And I look at it now and I say, yeah, having confidence as an artist is good. And I tell you, hey, don't when someone tells you an idea, don't let them push you down. But every once in a while, you need to have a new perspective. When I say confidence as an artist, I don't mean be blind or be deaf to what other people think. Have confidence in yourself in terms of like, you can do something, but also don't be deaf to other people. And if I did say that, I apologize. But everyone has their own respect to their opinion, and that opinion could be very helpful for you. And I did that. I took his opinion, and I really was hurt. I was hurt the whole day. I was hurt the whole day. I didn't feel good, dude. I felt sick because when you're faced, they say never meet your heroes, and when you're faced with something like that, when you're faced with someone telling you you can't do something or you feel a certain way because of something, you feel horrible. You feel horrible. You just feel like you're sunken in and you're just whole world gets quiet and you're trying not to cry. Like as an artist, you're a highly emotional person. When you're an artist, I truly believe that. I believe artists are highly emotional people. And because of that, because of how highly emotional we are naturally, I know that we may feel a certain way just because of how we are. Because to make stuff, you have to be attached with your emotions. To make emotionally driven stuff, you have to be attached with your emotions, and difficult. I think that's something I have to work on, is learning to separate myself from my own art, because when someone gives you criticism or something above that idea and you're an emotional person, you're going to be hurt. And I was hurt. So I went home that day and I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. Like I'm a man. I don't cry. That sounds so negative. That sounds so bad. But in reality, I just try not to show my emotions in a sense that I process things internally. I don't have to show it externally to process it. Like some people have to get a good cry out, and I'm not against people who cry. But for me, I process things better internally, and I'm a solution finder. I find if I have a problem, like this was a problem for me, I wasn't on my best A game, just up here mentally, trying to process solutions and be creatively, emotionally, and try to fix yourself emotionally are two things that you can't really do together. The best way, if you're ever going through something where you're an artist and you need to take a mental health break and take like some moments of yourself, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Sleep is the best thing ever. It's just a good flush. It flushes your mind out, flushes yourself out. You feel better after you take a good nap. So I went to sleep. I didn't take a nap. I went to sleep. I just went to sleep early. And now my brain was ready to fix solutions. And that's the today, because this happened yesterday. And that's why I'm kind of still hit, It's just like these solutions are hard. And it's like, dude, you plan, but you need to learn how to just have a plan. And sometimes I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of deleting everything. I'm a big fan of just letting it all go. Big fan of just saying, hey, start from square one. For me, that's how I did my life. I had a problem in my life, I started from square one. I didn't know how to do something, start over. I wrote a paper I didn't like, start over. It's hard, back to one. That's what I do. I go all the way back, and I learned that. And whenever I'm also struggling, when I'm having thoughts or I'm coming up with solutions, I often have practiced this new thing I'm practicing, which is I go to the past. I go to the people who struggled before. And not only do I go to the people who have struggled with the same thought before, so I'll read the Bible, or I'll read some philosophy, or I'll read some books, or I go back to my journals. My journals are the only place where I can find owed me in these writings about what I will experience and reliving those emotions and figuring out solutions to build myself better. I have awesome journals that I have inconsistently been doing. I'm trying to be more consistent now. I have a new journal now. I'm trying to be more consistent now. But these old journals, built with strong passion, and I have an entry that I want to share from you guys. Entry 219 of my journal says, 2024 is the year of building a foundation and development. That's what I wrote. When it comes to criticism and development, in the book, I said I want to build a foundation for this year. Now, in order to build a foundation, a good foundation, you have to destroy it all. So my philosophy of going back to one is very good. And the development starts with self-development. It starts with fixing yourself. So whenever you're handling criticism, sometimes you need to just delete it all, get rid of it all, and start working on you. Because honestly, that's where the problem gets fixed, because there's a little truth in everything someone says to you. And this guy, he wasn't a guy who would lie to you. Like, the criticism he was saying was all valid. He's just very blunt, which is probably his fault. I need to work on softening the potato. But hey, what are you gonna do? Guy speaks his mind. At least he's honest. And when you're facing criticism, you have to learn how to take that criticism and reflect on it. I wrote something in my journal because of this, and I wrote in my journal earlier today that I want to share with you guys. I now wake up realizing something. Out of criticism is birthed reflection. Out of reflection is birthed clarity. And only with clarity is opportunity able to be taken advantage of. When you're faced with criticism, your first instinct should be take a deep breath, breathe, go to sleep, reflect. Once you have that new reflection, take that reflection and change it into clarity. Now you see things a little bit differently now. Your eyes are open a little bit more wider, right? That's what this whole podcast is about. Young clarity, how to have more clarity. I got clarity today. And now I'm talking to you guys about that same idea to help you grow better, to help you see things a little bit differently. Clarity is realizing, hey, I see the world a little bit differently, and I'm focused, and I'm better, and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to make a solution. And now since you have the solution, you have an opportunity here. Now, my opportunity here for me personally now is to take his advice and to say, hey, I can listen to this guy. This guy has experience way over my years. He has more wisdom over me. What should I do? I should actively try to figure out the way to get the solution. So my next solution for my idea is, hey, I'm going to do what he says. And I'm going to do everything he says to the best of my ability, but I'm also going to do what I was originally going to do. I'm not going to stop from square one. I'm not going to delete it all, because now the idea I had, it had people involved into it, so I can't just quit the idea completely now, because the people are involved in this idea. This is theirs as much as it is mine. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to follow his advice as well. Luckily, my advice is not a weird situation. It's not a weird, crazy situation where it's like I can't not do what he says and do what I say. Well, I can do both. So I have the opportunity now. And I only would understood that opportunity if this guy did not talk to me. If I did not receive the criticism that he had and turn that criticism to constructive criticism, I would have not understood where I was at fault. And thus, I would never have been the better version I am today. Be better. So when you're faced with criticism in your life, guys, I want to implore you that, hey, don't run. It's so easy to look at the world around you and quit. Once I get criticized, I should just shut down. That's not what I mean. When I say I delete things and start over, I mean I delete the old foundation and I rebuild a new foundation. I don't give up on my idea. I just say, hey, this idea is not what it needs to be. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to build up. I'm going to make a better idea. I make better solutions. That's who I am. I know that if I make a mistake and I have a problem and someone corrects me on it, okay, I'll start over. I'll fix it. And some people have to be bold like that. I'm bold. I'm wired like that. Whole life. If I didn't know how to swim, okay, I'll learn how to swim again. I'll go and practice twice a week. I'll go and do this. I'll go do everything I can to lift, to work out. I'll do as much as I can to get this into my body and to understand these systems so I can be better at gaining and training. And I want to implore you that, hey, don't give up when you just get faced with criticism in life, guys. Don't do that. Because right now, this is an important message for everybody to hear because we all will feel like how I feel. How I feel right now and how honest I feel right now. I know for a fact that, hey, I need to tell somebody and remind them that, hey, you got to wake up. Don't let somebody knock you out and then just be asleep. Get back on the floor, get running. So when you're faced with constructive criticism and we have reflection and you reflect over things, you have clarity, now you have the advantage. You can take the opportunity now. And the opportunity is this. Are you going to lose or are you going to win? Are you going to be better than what you were yesterday? Are you going to do it despite what they think? Are you going to face it? Whatever you want to do in life, you can do it. Don't let nobody else ever tell you you can't. Don't let anybody ever hold you back. I can do both. I can grow. I can blow their socks off with the next plan I have. And maybe you're going to be struggling with this idea. Maybe you're going to be having thoughts in your mind when you hear something like this. You feel like you can't do nothing and you're going to feel like how I felt. The best thing to do is take a nap, refresh, reflush, come back, think it through, come up with a better solution and do better. When faced with consequences or negativity in your life, and you're going to be faced with negativity, the best thing to do is just not give up. Don't give up. Okay, it might change your plans. Change your plans. I'm gonna have to go in this direction. I'm gonna have to go this direction. But I don't want the easy path. If I wanted the world to be easier for me, I would wake up every day like how I used to do. I used to wake up in bed. And this is another conversation I want to have. Some people see an opportunity in their to change or to be better. And you know what they do? They sit there, they just let it pass them by. I mean, I don't care what you do, what substances you take, but you can't say you're going to be successful if you smoke all day. You can't say you're going to be successful if you drink your socks off and you're drunk all the time. You're waking up in the middle of. You can't say you're successful if you're waking up at 4 p.m. every single day. You can't. You can't look at me and tell me you're going to be great if I don't see you actively trying to pursue to be great. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Okay? If you can't tell me that you wake up every day and you have no goal, no ideal, nothing that you hold treasuring to yourself, and you're telling me that you're going to do what? You don't even have a plan. I've been talking about this for 5 weeks now. 5 weeks I've been trying to tell you guys the keys to being a better artist. And these can be applied in everywhere in your life. And these are things I actually do. Okay? I told you, I've been telling you true stories about what I do. True stories. True stories. I'm 18. If I'm this young and I understand this, and you're 40, and you're tripping still, or you're 24, I don't know what my statistics are for my people yet. It's like 20, 25, 26. Like, you're 10 years older than me and you're still doing the same thing you were doing yesterday. And I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm the perfect person. I'm not trying to make it sound like your problems don't matter. I'm not trying to say that you don't have issues. I'm just saying is that if you get criticized in your life, how do you take that criticism? Do you take that criticism and build a new foundation upon it? Or do you take that criticism and tear everything down and live in rubble? Make a decision to build up your buildings. You know, every single day, I try to do a little bit more than I can yesterday. I study how to be better. I have the ability to do more than I can yesterday because today is a new day. Denzel Washington says this amazing quote that I love. He says, what an opportunity we have to be alive. What an opportunity we have to practice. What an opportunity we have to practice. Guys, that practicing how you take criticism is so important. And this is just one of the reps. This is just another rep on top of the criticism, how I respond to it. Moving forward, I'm going to respond to criticism rep after rep, practice after practice, how to take it and make it into a new opportunity I can take advantage of. That's what I promise to you. You know, when Christ was on this world, when Jesus was on this earth, he was criticized every single day of his life. Every day somebody wanted to kill him, or the Pharisees hated him, or the people looked at him and thought he was not the Son of God. Every day Jesus took that criticism, and you know what he did? He took it as an advantage to say, hey, if that's the case, then I need to go here and help the people here. I need to keep working harder, because although these people don't believe my name yet, I need to actively go out and make more people. I need to take advantage of the opportunities they're giving me. When I see them struggling and how they're ignoring this woman, I need to help this woman, and that woman can go and walk. I need to help this man who can't see. I need to do all these things to help other people. And that's what Christ is about. That's what when you're a person who's actively trying to fix something better, when criticism attacks you, what are you going to do? And I'm emotional right now because I want to get this message across, guys. Criticism and opportunity are two messages that I have to tell you as a person, as an artist, and as a young person and an old person. It doesn't matter what you say, what you think of me. You can think I'm stupid, young, idiotic, egotistical, all these things about me, but you can hate me. I don't care if you hate me. You can hate yourself. You can look at the life that you built around yourself and say, hey, criticism and opportunity, how am I going to respond to? Am I going to be 1% better than I was yesterday? Am I going to be 1% worse than I was today? Am I going to be worse today? No, I won't be. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to grind. And even when I'm faced with criticism, I'm going to treat all criticism like it's constructive. All criticism like it's constructive. There's no such thing as constructive criticism anymore in my book. Criticism is now a constructive word by default. If you tell me I suck, okay, I'll get better. Yeah, I'm not the perfect person I am. Yeah, I struggle with this. Yeah, I have things I could fix. Okay, I'll be better. Learning how to be better starts when you take action. You know, self-development starts when you take action. Take action today to be better than you were yesterday. Stop worrying about what tomorrow is, for tomorrow is not promised. But today, what an opportunity we have. What an opportunity we have to practice. What an opportunity we have. So guys, thank you for listening to episode 5 of the Young Clarity Podcast. It's been 5 weeks. I know I've been promising to have guests on here soon, but I'm at the point now when I'm not ready to have guests yet. And when I am ready, I'm going to have guests. Having guests, talking to them about my ideas and all this other stuff and what their ideas are, it's going to be difficult. We got to get more equipment. If you haven't already, subscribe, leave a like, follow up. We're on podcasts, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of it. Hit us up. Our socials, Facebook, everything. We have all this stuff that we have to talk about. We have to get these visions out. We have to get our ideas out. And as artists, we should band together and create unions to make better artist communities. One of the entries in my journal I was reading today is about having more artist communities. This is the community for artists. This is the community to talk about what you believe in. This is the community to have creativity. This is the community to be better. Subscribe, like. There's no reason for you not to. There's no reason for you not to try to be better than you were yesterday. There's no reason. And I don't care. Criticism and opportunity, it's around us. There's no better time to make content. All of these lessons come up together. It's 5 weeks and we've been talking about the same stuff, and I want to get this out to you. And I'm going to keep talking about this message as long as I have to get the point across. You can do anything. You can be anyone. You can work your butt off and succeed. You can fail and still win. You can do everything you want to do because you are a person. And if you are a person, you can get better. And if you are a person, you can grow. And if you are a person, you can fail. You can do anything. Christ is real. He has showed his life in the Gospels of how he's overcame criticism, and he has got a success beyond all our imagination. I am telling you, you can do anything. Criticism and opportunity are hand in hand. It's just how you respond to it. Thank you. Thank you guys for listening to my rant. Thank you for listening to it. My name is Titus Rhodes, and this is Young Clarity, a podcast to help you see things a little bit differently. Take advantage of the opportunities you have and be better.